In 2024, the global box office earned around $32.3 billion. As you can imagine, there were a ton of great films this year like Godzilla x Kong: A New Empire, Mufasa, Gladiator 2, and Monkey Man. Now, I don't get a lot of time to go to the cinema, and if I do, I'm taking a 6-year-old child with me, so my top 10 is going to be a lot different from yours. So let's get to the list, shall we? So at number 10, I have If. This emerged as an unexpected sleeper hit for me this year, with its storytelling and emotional depth. At first glance, If might seem unassuming, but it quickly unfolds into a rich tapestry of imaginative narrative and a powerful message that you are never too old for an imaginary friend, as they will always be there for you to help you out when times are tough. I love this film, so did my daughter. Even the twist that Ryan Reynolds is the imaginary friend to the main character, it's just great to see, and it's so heartwarming to watch with your child. I do really appreciate what this film did. I think they did an amazing job with it, and yeah, it is happily sitting on my top 10 list. At number 9, we have Inside Out 2. This film, oh my god, it was a love letter to Inside Out fans. I mean, I have emotions. I have them. Anxiety for me last year was really hard, and this film actually resonated a lot with me, and I think that's why I loved it so much. Me and my daughter went to watch it, and she could not understand why anxiety was acting so crazy. She kept asking questions about it and everything, and in the end she was like, well, is that just what anxiety does, makes you crazy? And in a way, it does. Anxiety does make you go crazy, but it's also good to not push those other emotions out and to let them emotions free. And that's kind of the message that it gives. And I just love that message, because life is hard. It's never easy. And for kids, it's even harder. But this film, it was just a love letter. It really was a perfect film. Now at number 8, I have The Fall Guy. Now, a lot of people didn't like this film. It didn't do very well at the box office or anything like that, but I really enjoyed it. Ryan Gosling acting as a stuntman is just phenomenal. It's a fun way to see how stuntmen put their bodies and lives sometimes on the line to make a movie, and Aaron Taylor Johnson is the actor to Ryan Gosling's stuntman, so they both work together, and it's all about how this guy has set him up because he doesn't want anyone to know he doesn't do his own stunts, which in this industry hardly anyone does their own stunts anymore. It really is a great film. It's a comedy, they do some weird wacky stuff in it and everything like that, but the film is great. I do urge you to check it out. It's one not to miss this year. And, well, we're in 2025 now, so get it watched, have fun with it, and don't take it too serious. You take it too serious, you won't enjoy it, but just watch it. It's great. At number 7, we have Transformers 1. Finally, a Transformers film that does everything right, in my opinion. We get Orion Pax and D16, aka Optimus Prime and Megatron, their origin stories, how the Autobots came about, how the Decepticons came about, what Sentinel Prime actually was. He was a dictator and horrible leader and everything like that. It was great to see that he sold out his own planet and all that lot, the rise and fall of Cybertron. Just everything about this film made me fall in love with Transformers once again after those live action films that came out from Michael Bay. I'm so glad they're done with that, and this is the way Transformers should be heading from now on, because this was a really, really good film. At number 6, we have Hellboy the Crooked Man. In a surprising twist, it diverges from its predecessors with a uniquely eerie blend of folk horror and supernatural thrills, which means it kind of doesn't lean into the comedy side of the comics, more the horror side. It's all about this crooked man who haunts this part of America, and we get these great characters that are introduced like witches and all that, and Hellboy is basically trying to take down this guy. It's hard to explain because it's more of an indie film than a big blockbuster. It only had 20 million or something to make this film, but it did so much better than most of the films this year, in my opinion, which had $200 million budgets and all that. This film got everything right about Hellboy. He looks ace, the horror elements are cool, the monsters in it are pretty tame, but it's all about that folk horror, and it kind of just gets you buzzing, this film. It really is one to watch. At number 5, we have The Wild Robot. This film, it's a good film. I have to say it is a very good film for a kids film. It focuses on a robot that does tasks day by day. It's like a housekeeper. It can't function without a task. It gets into an accident. It kills all these birds, and one hatches and lives, and it takes to the robot as its mum, and she then is given a task by an animal where she downloads all the animal languages and given a task to look after this goose or mallard, I forgot which one it was, to learn it how to swim, fly, and live, basically, so that it can migrate and stuff like that. And it really does show that this understanding and this robot will do anything to complete its task. But the robot ends up falling in love as a mother to this animal, and it is really good. And then the robot starts caring about all the other animals, and all the other animals are so scared of it, but then they learn to care for her. Then this big thing comes back for it, and it's just a great story. It's so fun to watch with your kids. Give it a watch. At number 4, we have Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, you may be shocked that this isn't in my top 3, but it's a good film, but the story just wasn't there for me. Like, it promised to become part of the MCU, but it didn't. It kind of stayed in the Fox universe, which was just weird to do. Like, yes, he visited the MCU timeline, but then he went back to his own timeline. He saved it. He brought Hugh Jackman there, well, Wolverine. He brought X-23 there. Everything like that. Blade, Elektra, Gambit, bloody Gambit in this film was brilliant. All that lot. They brung not Vinnie Jones, but that Vinnie Jones Juggernaut back and everything like that. But Azrael, there's so much in this film to comprehend that the story was kind of forgot about, and it basically is this buddy road cop, like on the road adventure road trip kind of film, and just the score in it is quite funny. Like we got chills from Grease as they're absolutely slicing each other up. You've got Like a Prayer as they're murdering a load of Deadpools in a street. It was a good film, but not worth my top 3. At number 3, we have Heretic. Now, Hugh Grant did amazing in this film. It's more than just a thriller. It's really a profound exploration of faith and doubt and the human spirit of resilience, because Hugh Grant forces these 2 Jehovah's Witnesses to really doubt their faith, to show how the Book of Mormons is just a rehash of the Bible, which is a rehash of how Monopoly is a rehash of this old board game, and he tricks them, he plays these mind games, and in the end it's leaving you with these questions like, yeah, is this actually all made up, is it this? But then he's going on to explain that religion is just literally believing what you are told. He goes on to say, like, if I told you this was a miracle, would you believe it? And he shows this woman dying and being rebirthed, but really he's sneaking down, replacing the woman as the other one died with someone who looks the same and everything like that. But if you've seen it with your own eyes, you believe it. And that is what this film tries to get across, that not everything is black and white, not everything is how it's read, but oh my god, this film is a great psychological thriller. Hugh Grant puts in the performance of a fucking lifetime in this film, and it is amazing. Every time he's on screen, you've got this eerie feeling that something bad's about to happen, but he's just electrifying and you can't take your eyes off this film. That's why it sits at number 3. Number 2, we have Juror 2. So, Juror 2 is a film about a court case, basically. It's kind of like a more serious Better Call Saul and more serious, better version of Joker 2, because that film was trash. Anyway, this film gets into this guy is being put on jury service for someone committing a crime of killing his girlfriend. Now, we find out through the film that this guy who's on trial is actually innocent, and the juror who has been put as juror number 2 is in fact the person that's killed the girl. This film, it's just one of those sleeper hits where it's like, oh yeah, I'll watch that, and you turn it on and you're like, wow, that was a good film, it's over already? And it is just one of those things, and that's why it sits comfortably at number 2. At number 1, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That's right, may have released in December, but I think this is the best film I've watched in 2024, because we get freaking Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog. I mean, just seeing him ride a bike with one of the it doesn't make sense, this sentence, but one of Gun's guns, because gun is an acronym and everything like that, and just chasing Sonic chasing Shadow through the street on his bike, and him teleporting and kicking ass and everything like that. We also get 2 Jim Carreys as Gerald and Ivor Robotniks. We get Agent Storm back, which I feel sorry for this guy, man. He gets literally thrown aside in every movie, but it kind of shows how Gerald and Shadow are more relatable than any other villain, because damn, I was rooting for them in this movie, because yes, it was horrible what they did to Maria and everything like that. It made me feel pain and anger, and that's what Shadow couldn't control, and it kind of does this hero arc for him. And Super Sonic and Super Shadow is freaking amazing. I don't care if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. Spoilers, you know, don't care. But oh my god, what a great film, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Honestly, I can't wait for the 4th one, because the end credit scenes was unbelievable of what they're introducing, and I am so looking forward to the 4th one. So is my daughter, for a very specific reason. But yeah, that is why it's at number 1 for me. Great film, and I could easily watch this another 2 or 3 times, and that is why it's at number 1. And that concludes my top 10 movies of 2024. I hope this list actually gives you some films to watch that you didn't think about watching before, as many people just stick to mainstream movies. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, consider liking and subscribing, or maybe even watching one of the 2 videos that are on the screen now. One is what YouTube recommends, and one is what I recommend. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas, and I hope that this new year brings a lot of joy. I will see you next week.